Hi folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU. Today we have another 4K review, in this case Interstellar, in this special 10-year anniversary release. Hello again and thanks for tuning in for another review. Today we're gonna take a look at this 10-year anniversary release for Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. But before we start, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're interested in physical media, when I make reviews of different Blu-ray releases, also soundtracks on vinyl, and other physical media related talks. Besides that, you can also find me on Instagram with the same handle, Physical Media EU, where I post detailed pictures of all the items that I review. So now we can begin taking a look at this very beautiful release of Interstellar. On the back, there's just like a kind of like a starry background, and I apologize for any reflections of the ring light there. That's why I post pictures on Instagram. So the first thing to mention is that this release came with this J card. You can see there's a J card type. Here you can see a photo of all the items expanded and also some details about the movie and the release. As you can see at the top here is this is a German release. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few moments. Now moving on, there's a set of 5 patches that came here, which are very nice quality. I'm not sure if you can see there, but you can see how they are like embroidered, and they look very, very good. Although I don't think I'm gonna use them, but they're very nice. Here's the back. So it's very nice that this was included, and it's the kind of props that I like to see in their releases. Now if we open this one up, it opens on the side like this. The first thing you see is the back of this kind of media book, and here is the cover. It looks super nice. Here if we open it both together, there you can see it in fully, so it's very nice. And now if we go to the other side, it's a 3-fold, so this opens one more time here. But let's begin taking a look at this, which is a note from Christopher Nolan, but because it's a German release, this is written in German, so that's a little suboptimal if you ask me. But of course, I'm an international customer, right? I bet customers in Germany, they might be actually happy that this is in German. Now, moving to this first part, this has like a pocket where there's a booklet and some posters we will check out now in a second. And now on the other side, if we open this, here are the 3 discs. This one here is the 4K, and the other 2 is the movie in Blu-ray, and also the Blu-ray with the bonus features. So like other Christopher Nolan releases, there's a full Blu-ray with all bonus features, which of course is always very nice to have because they are packed with bonus material. Now moving on to the contents of this pocket, let's begin taking a look at the booklet, which is a set of storyboards. You can see here. Now on the back there's nothing to see. But then if we open this one, we find the storyboards like this, and all the booklet is like this. There's no other extra text or anything, so the whole booklet is like this, which I feel like maybe they could have done something a little more. This is nice to have, but I prefer like other kind of booklets where there's more information or something more internal about the movie. Now, this release comes with 5 posters, which we see now each of them. So while I talk, I just show them. The first you can see here. I mean, the posters are very nice, all of them. They have very nice printing quality, and all the images are super cool. This one, for example, is one of my favorite ones. But the first thing you can say about the posters is that they are very small, right? This is a little over the size of maybe A4 kind of page. This is also, by the way, super nice. And another thing to mention about this is that they are just like single-sided. So the thing is, like, what do you do with these posters, right? I think the only thing I could think of is that you could have like an ultra wide frame where you put all of these side by side. I think that might look pretty cool actually. But of course, to do that, you have to be like, probably Interstellar has to be in your top three films, right? Look at also this one looks super nice. So I think it's an interesting choice they did with these posters instead of including maybe just one bigger one that could have been like double sided, for example, right? Now about the transfer, there's nothing new here. This movie has been out in 4K for a long time and it's exactly the same content you get here. And that's not necessarily a problem because the movie looks great in 4K and you also have the Blu-ray alternative plus the disc with all the bonus features, so there's actually no need to include anything else. If you ask me, I think in these kind of releases, special releases, would be nice if the print on top of the disc was different, not just the same as in a standard release, but I don't know, that's just like something very minor, but as a collector I would appreciate that in a collector's edition the label of the disc was not the same of the standard release that you can get for like I don't know, 12 euros, 15 euros or something like that, or like I don't know, 2 for 30, whatever, right? But I know that's just being very picky, but of course as a collector and as a reviewer I feel the need to say it. Now, do I recommend getting this version of the movie? Well, it might depend how much are you willing to pay for it. During pre-order, in many cases you could get it for a cheaper price, but after release I think it's around like 50 euros. 50 euros to me sounds like a little steep, but if you like this movie, honestly, this might be one of the best versions out there. Unless you are like a steelbook first kind of collector, because Interstellar has very nice steelbooks out there. But of course, in the steelbooks, normally you don't get the posters and all this other extra stuff. So it depends on how much you like the movie, how much are you willing to pay for this extra stuff. Another thing to keep in mind, as I said, this is a German release. I got it on Amazon Germany, but depending on where you get it, that letter by Christopher Nolan will come in different languages. So if you're gonna order it from another country, keep in mind that it's a language that you're comfortable with. And another thing to mention about this is I'm not a big fan of this kind of like non-standard size for releases, because like this, like I don't know how to put it on the shelf unless it takes a very highlighted spot, kind of like, I don't know if it was like something like this or on the side or something like that. But in general, like it doesn't even fit on the shelf. Like I would have to move this like one knot up. So that's where I feel that these kind of releases are especially very cool for like the hardcore fans of Interstellar, who might not even be physical media collectors and they just like have this movie because they love it. And don't get me wrong, I love Interstellar. It's like, I think it's one of the best space movies ever made, but it's not my favorite movie. So I don't want to like display it on half of my shelf. So again, it's up to the collector and what kind of collector you are if you want to get this version. But with that said, I think this is a very nice release. If you're a big fan of the movie, this looks awesome. Other than maybe the price being too high, depending on what's the price you might find it, I think there are no really downsides with it. Although it could have been nice to have a different kind of booklet, but in general, I think this is a very nice release. And that's all for the review. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I would love to hear on the comments if you like this movie or other Christopher Nolan movies. Would love to hear what's your top 3 Christopher Nolan movies. I have reviewed other films of him in this channel. At least I can think of Oppenheimer and Memento. So links up here in the corners and also on the description. And lastly, remember that I will post little pictures of the release on Instagram, which has the same handle, Physical Media EU. Thank you so much for watching and see you all at Okie Dogs.